lionesses collide, over 400 kilograms of pure muscle power is unleashed. Only a male almost twice their size would dare to interfere. Their strength, combined with lethal teeth and claws, could kill a man in an instant. But in this case, they are Kevin's lionesses.
The worst thing about this whole sequence is the heat and the gob from the lions.
The trust and respect shared between this man and these animals make this an extraordinary relationship. An intimate bond that Kevin shares with some of Africa's most feared predators. This is the story of a man who can contentedly sleep with the king of beasts, take a hyena for a ride in his car instead of his dog, and swim with a lioness that could easily tear him apart or drown him with her weight. This story gives us a privileged view into a special world of relationships that Kevin built on trust and integrity. Extraordinary liaisons with Africa's most feared predators. Dangerous companions. Kevin Richardson worked as an exercise physiologist, but his passion was for animals. He was born with a special talent for understanding and communicating with them.
Ever since I was a young boy, I had an incredible fascination for animals. Any size, any animal. Crickets, birds, reptiles, and of course mammals. As I grew older, the animals grew bigger.
And bigger. And increasingly more dangerous. Kevin became a volunteer at the Lion Park, a privately owned game reserve outside Johannesburg in South Africa. It's an easy reach location for tourists and school children on a day visit to see Africa's wild creatures. At first, Kevin was happy to just play and care for any of the animals. But his favorites were young hyenas and lion cubs.
What you like?
With them, he was in heaven. Then, when he became co-manager of the park, he saw the opportunity to enrich the lives of these captive predators using alternative and fun training techniques. He started by gaining their trust, and eventually relationships that Kevin would not have thought possible developed. Out of the hundreds of animals which he befriended, 8 stand out as his favorites. They consider him part of their family.
Morning. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
With them, he has had many incredible adventures, unbelievable stories that led man and beast down a potentially dangerous path, and yet a wonderful experience. These are his favorites. Gambit, always the curious one, forced his way into Kevin's life. Meg and Amy stole his heart when they were born. Gina helped Kevin form a new clan. Kevin loves Trelly because secretly they share the same sense of mischievousness. Pregnant Pelogale trusts and respects Kevin unconditionally. And regal Tao and Napoleon were the first lions that Kevin took under his wing when they arrived at the park at the age of 6 months. Now, at the fully grown age of 6 years, they are in charge of a pride with 2 adult females and their playful son.
2 loves of my life. They were like my firstborn, and they were my introduction basically into the world of predators. They fascinated me so much that I spent all of my free time with them, and in fact more time with them over a period of about a year than I had with my whole family. By the time they were about a year old, I realized by now I must be part of this brotherhood. And what amazed me even more than that was the fact that they exhibited such a gentle traits with me, but with each other were extremely boisterous.
Two magnificent and powerful lions, each weighing at least 3 times more than Kevin, could at any time turn on him and kill him. Yet in his arms, they become as gentle as purring pussycats.
Basically, he's holding me hostage, and he's demanding a full facial. All I wanted to do when these lions were little cubs is wait for them to grow up so I could bury my head in that mane, that big black mane, and give him a huge hug. And to be honest with you, when the day eventually came, I don't have the words to explain the feeling. It's just amazing. It's incredible.
Tao and Napoleon see Kevin as a lion, their friend and brother rather than their trainer and dominator. With this group, Kevin began to understand what it is like to be part of a pride.
Is she pregnant? Is it yours?
This is the second time that this female has fallen pregnant by Tao or Napoleon. The first time, 2 years ago, she gave birth to Meg and Amy, but she abandoned them, and Kevin seized the opportunity to become surrogate mother.
Hey, no, that. Greedy guts. No. Raising a baby animal seems very cool, but one should realize that this is actually a full-time responsibility. When you've got to wake up every 2 hours throughout the night and feed this little animal that may or may not want to drink, it's a huge responsibility. And when you have to make some personal sacrifices like going out with your mates on a Saturday night, then suddenly it's not so cool.
You've got lovely little personalities. Eh? Lovely. Yeah, you've got a very nice personality. Normally little cubs at this age are ferocious little things.
Not Meg and Amy. Right from the start, they were two playful, happy little girls that tugged at Kevin's heartstrings. For Kevin, this was the beginning of an opportunity of a lifetime, to hand-raise and follow the two lionesses from birth all the way through to adulthood.
Hey, it's a clever girl. Go and get your food.
Lions are not tame pets, and neither are hyenas. But Gina seems to be an exception to this rule. She gives Kevin the opportunity to enter the mysterious world of hyenas. She was hand-reared by Kevin, loves his attention, and lets him know it with pleasurable guttural noises.
Who's that? Is that your boyfriend? Is he back?
Trilly, Gina's boyfriend, is Kevin's soulmate. If ever man and beast could have such a close relationship.
I'll tickle you. I'll tickle you. Yes. I'll tickle you pink. I'll tickle you pink. Yes, you... Oh, ow, ow, yeah. Oh, I'll pat you back.
And the reason I can do this to Trelly is because he sees me as a dominant force. He does see me as one of the nicer dominant forces because I don't really hurt him. Even when I bite his ear, he's used to being bitten badly by the other guys. Hey, low ranking in a hyena society is never a good thing, especially when you're a male. Hey. That's better. That's better. That's better. There we go.
Gina and Trelly are members of a hyena clan which Kevin formed by introducing new individuals as they arrived at the park, whether they were hand-reared or totally wild. This project is a world first and for now, it seems to be a success. His affinity to animals allows him to enter the territory of a pack of semi-wild predators and experience hyena behavior firsthand. From the knowledge he gained, he managed to attain a high rank. His warnings are taken seriously, and so are his pranks.
Hyena roly-poly. Trilly.
Kevin knows his boundaries with the hand-reared hyenas like Trelly. But with Uno, the wild-born matriarch, he has to be very careful. She's always testing him.
Uno, don't be nasty. Don't be nasty, Uno. Uno, don't be nasty.
Within the hyena hierarchy, it's all about status. The higher the rank, the more the respect. The lower the rank, the harsher the beating. Kevin's status becomes extremely clear when Uno, the highest-ranking female, retreats. This encounter could have gone either way. With Pelokgale, he needs to be extra cautious because she has just given birth. He has no idea how she's going to react to his presence near her cubs. Most lionesses do not allow even their own pride members near the newborns. But Kevin's confident attitude is key to his relationship with these predators. His projected self-assurance and calmness somehow allow him to enter into their world. Kevin is surprised to see that she responds to him, as she's always done before. This gives him faith that if he enters her enclosure, she will not maul him. On the contrary, she seems to enjoy his visit.
Hey, what a nice morning. What a nice morning. Nice morning.
Kevin nurtured this relationship since Pelokgale was a baby. Now he reaps the rewards. And then she astonishes him with the greatest honor a lioness could ever bestow upon a man. She offers her newborn to him, a gesture of utmost trust.
A lioness offering me her newborn cub. This has got to be the most emotional experience of my entire life. I'm a first-time father. Awesome.
Then she goes back to her mothering duties. Feeding the little ones. They need to drink at least half a liter a day. And licking them to stimulate bowel movement. Kevin leaves the contented mother and healthy cubs to go to his pride. Tao and Napoleon's group.
Through my interaction and fooling around with the lions, we realized that there was actually capacity to utilize them in photographic and film shoots. And not only did we get paid to do this, but we enriched the animals' lives as well, so it was a bonus.
Kevin's alternative training philosophy begins with knowing his students well, understanding their moods, personalities, and body language.
It's called lion etiquette, and there's a couple of rules. Number one, don't irritate me while I'm sleeping unless I invite you to come and tickle me. Don't come close while I'm eating because that is a surefire way to get your head taken off. And please don't give me a fright. Always make yourself heard, because if you don't, then I'm more than likely going to attack you out of reaction. When I tell you I've had enough, please believe me, I don't like saying things twice.
Kevin's technique uses no whips or intimidation. His schooling is simply a game. Tires stimulate lions just as a ball of wool keeps a cat entertained. It also brings out the different characters, the team players like Napoleon, and the outsiders like Tao.
Oh, not the camera, not the camera. I was warned by many people that the one with the clear eyes shouldn't be trusted and was unpredictable. But Tao proved them wrong. He's turned out to be one of the best lions we've got at the lion park.
Tao has piercing eyes that seem to burrow through your soul. He's stubborn and not always wanting to play along.
Oops.
His pregnant mate has a better sense of humor. Clearly, Tao is not in a playful mood.
Tao, don't be such a grump, man. Hey, the Tao's for everyone to share. Come on, boy. Come on, play fair.
Kevin tries to barter a deal, but Tao is not interested.
Yeah, he's seen this Tao many times before. Not interested. Not interested. Only interested in his Tao, eh? Keeps an ever watchful eye on me. Tao. Nah.
Tao is rebellious this time, but the result of the exercise is unimportant. What Kevin cares about is the stimulation of the lion's senses and the reinforcement of the bond between himself and the lions. Napoleon, the better team player, gets some advanced training in the park.
Napoleon's a good filming lion. He's just got that confidence. He doesn't get spooked when you introduce him to a new environment. And so in order to keep Napoleon this way, I've got to always introduce him to new environments, new sights, new smells, new sounds. These expeditions are fun for me and Napoleon. And I think when you see us together, you can see we thoroughly enjoy each other's company.
These outings are what make Napoleon so comfortable on any shoot, including in a closed studio environment.
The fact that he ignores everything else in the world and couldn't care less about the wildebeest or the blesbok just proves to me that he's so involved in what he's doing.
Perhaps Kevin is a little too optimistic with this statement. During this outing, a rather large character saunters over. Gambit, the nosy giraffe, wants to be part of the fun as well. But Kevin takes no chances, and before Napoleon sees Gambit, he lures him back into the truck. The giraffe is oblivious to the danger and walks even closer.
Gambit! Unfortunately, Gambit thinks everybody's his mate.
What's your problem? He will eat you, silly thing. Yeah, Gamby. Yeah, boy.
Napoleon may be a well-fed tame lion, but his instincts would drive him to hunt down and kill such an easy target. On the other hand, Gambit definitely has no idea that he's facing the king of the predators. Finally, Napoleon is safely back in his enclosure, where Tao is still sulking and holding onto his tire. Gambit sees the end of another day, none the wiser to his close escape. When a call comes in for a commercial shoot in need of two majestic lions sitting in the sunset, Kevin has the perfect actors lined up and the schedule and procedure well planned. All the training now pays off. Perhaps the cages are not necessary, knowing Tao and Napoleon's obedience. However, human beings are unpredictable. A nervous person would make a wonderful, tempting target. Kevin checks on his actors and finds that they had a scuffle overnight. Tao hurt his paw, making him quite grumpy. This is not a good start. And it doesn't seem to get any easier for Kevin, as even the females are on edge. One of them tears open the back of his shirt with her dew claw. This is a show of irritation rather than playfulness, and Kevin tells her off.
The one lion is limping a bit this morning. Obviously they've had a scrap last night, but I'm sure he's going to be fine.
The 50-odd crew arrive on set. Trucks, equipment, actors, everything must be set up and ready before Kevin brings the lions. When all's in place, Kevin goes to fetch Tao and Napoleon. But nothing is as simple as the rehearsals. Usually the two brothers are keen to go on an outing, but today, Tao's sore paw makes him difficult to handle.
Got one lion who's brilliant and careering to go, and we've got another lion who says, "Bagger you, not today." No acting today, thanks. It's too hot. My paw's too sore.
Kevin locks up Napoleon to concentrate on Tao. Then he tricks Tao into getting closer to the truck.
So scared we're going to close it in on him.
I could quite easily just have slammed the door in Tao's face. However, I don't want to freak him out just before a film shoot. And moreover, I don't want to break his trust for future expeditions that we might have to go on.
With patience and gentle persuasions, Kevin eventually convinces Tao to get into the truck in less than an hour. He closes the door gently so as not to startle the already edgy lion. On the other hand, Napoleon gives no trouble at all. As soon as the driver manages to distract Tao to the front of the vehicle, Napoleon leaps in the back. And, as if it's the most natural thing to do, Kevin jumps in from the top. On set, Kevin and his lions make themselves comfortable in their cage. The shoot is delayed by a few technicalities. Time passes, and Tao, Napoleon, and Kevin do what lions do best: rest. By the afternoon, a thunderstorm looms over Johannesburg. This causes a further delay. Now the sequence will have to be lit. Kevin and the lions sleep away the boredom. Finally, the set is ready. The crew is shut behind bars to safeguard them from the dangerous predators. Eventually, after 6 hours of waiting in their cage, Tao and Napoleon get their chance to show their talent. Within a couple of minutes, they're in perfect position. A whole day of preparations for a 30-second commercial. The crew finally pack up. Napoleon eagerly returns into the truck. But Tao's painful paw makes him increasingly grumpy, and he refuses to jump in.
Tao's got that stubborn personality, and I think that's why I relate to him, is because he actually reminds me of myself.
Napoleon takes the easy ride home. Tao remains behind with Kevin by his side. Two kindred spirits sharing what no average man could ever comprehend. It is during these special moments that Kevin reinforces the bond that he nurtured over his 6 years of work at the Lion Park. To keep this unwritten code of friendship, each animal requires Kevin's utmost dedication, a dedication he perfected by the time Meg and Amy were 6 months. By then, Kevin's relationship with them was better than any relationship he had ever mastered.
Oh boy. Okay. Nicely. Nicely.
When they were born, they stole his heart. At 6 months, they now reciprocate that love tenfold. And maybe a little too exuberantly. Meg and Amy taught Kevin invaluable lessons, which he later put to good use, even with the hyenas. Kevin's predator enrichment program includes several unique approaches. This one shows off his sense of humor.
So here at the Lion Park we get our hyenas to write tests on a weekly basis. And whoever gets the highest mark, they get to go for an adventure out the enclosure in a car. And this week's winner is old Trelly. What you doing? What you doing? There's a boy. Get him, buddy. Hello, buddy. Hiya, my buddy. Are we gonna go and tease some lions, my boy? Come, let's go. Come. Come on. Come, Trill. Trilly, is it? Come, Trilly. Trilly, buddy. Yeah.
On a serious note, Kevin had found by pure coincidence that Trelly loved riding in his vehicle. A bonus that would enable him to move him to a filming location without putting him under any undue stress or using tranquilizers.
Now what normally happens is we swap drivers, otherwise old Trelly gets a little bit out of hand inside and chews my interior. Space for me, buddy. Space for me. Come on. Don't you chew my seats.
To get out of the hyena enclosure and into the larger park, Kevin has to take Trelly through the lion enclosure. This causes an uproar.
Well, Trelly's got a history with those lions. One day he decided he was going to be very brave and decided to run through into that group of 6 lions. And he came off second best.
Trelly's mischievous nature sometimes lands him in deep trouble. Out of the predator's enclosure, the rest of the park contains no dangerous large predators, just wildebeests, ostrich, and gambit, of course. Always wanting to be part of the action. Giraffe meets hyena without casualties?
How's it, guys?
Only in Kevin's presence.
Would make a good meal, eh? Yeah, we'll make a nice meal. Trelly, I think you're a bit scared of the giraffe, eh? You want to fight the lions, but you're scared of the giraffe. I think you're a little bit mixed up in this head, eh?
These adventures pay off when one day the brief for a hyena that is comfortable in a car arrives. Trelly was perfect. Finally, Trelly's day of fame. Not only does he get to play, but he gets constantly rewarded with juicy treats. What more could a captive hyena want?
I don't know, I'll get scratches under the chin.
Okay. Oh, you're very hairy. Much hairier than the hyena.
So, in the modern world, he is a respected star. But back in camp, within his clan, it's another story. He's the lowest ranking male, the underdog. In fact, he was extremely lucky to be allowed to mate with Gina, the second in command, almost like a peasant mixing with royalty.
A hyena clan is a dynamic thing. It's forever changing, and you're always going to get individuals challenging the matriarch. And in this case, this is what happens when you challenge Una.
This old female had the nerve to go up against the matriarch, but such a challenge almost cost her her life. For this reason, Gina, now pregnant, gets moved out of the clan.
As a precaution, I decided to take Gina out the clan and separate her because the reason being is she's the second in command, and I have a sneaking suspicion that Una would kill her cubs.
Yeah, for you. And now you're gonna go and do the rest.
Kevin returns to Pelogale, confidently expecting a friendly response. At first, she is the same as ever. But when she returns towards the den, Kevin notices that her behavior is different.
Not happy with something. See that? This is when you've got to learn to read the signs of animals.
Today, she's not prepared to share her cubs with Kevin. He wonders why. This is not her usual behavior. Perhaps something could be wrong. She pulls one away from her teat. Then she rolls away from the other three while they're still suckling. She seems irritated with her own cubs, as well as with Kevin, and eventually she forcefully pushes Kevin away.
I came halfway in, and all she did was put her head on my stomach and nudge me out.
That's holding enough to say, cheers, I've had enough of you. Go.
And just as well, Kevin needs to deal with a potential catastrophe. Trilly has managed to sneak out of his clan's enclosure again. He runs wild in the no man's land that separates the different predator camps. But this puts him just a fence away from the lions that have savaged him before. Trilly is treading a thin line. The lions see him, and it drives them mad. Kevin thinks quickly. Without hesitation, he picks him up like a dog. It doesn't even cross his mind that he is manhandling an animal with the most powerful jaws in the animal kingdom.
So before he gets beaten up too badly, no, you can't come out the window. I'm going to take him to another bunch of hyenas where hopefully he will have a little bit of a better life.
So Trilly joins the ranks of the exiled underdogs, the lowest ranking males. The lowest of the low. What a letdown for a film star.
So over here we got the three biggest geek hyenas ever to step foot into the spotted hyena society. And what's actually happened is we've had to separate these individuals one at a time. And Trilly's now the third, the third of the beastie bunch to arrive here. And it's the funniest thing. These guys were all picked on when they were in the clan. And now they think they are the biggest deals alive. It's unbelievable. It's almost as though every once in a while they need an ear pulled and they need to be bitten just to put them in place, because that's their lot in life. These guys are low-ranking males and they actually need to be bullied a bit. Hey, Henry, you need to be bullied a bit, otherwise you're going to bite my car.
Kevin's favorite hyena is now neighbor to Kevin's adored girls, Meg and Amy. By the time they were a year old, they outgrew their baby cage. But they haven't outgrown their fervent love for Kevin.
Yes. What else? What else would you like to say? Eh? What else? You're so good. You're so good. Are you going to be gentle when I go in there? I'm nervous to go in with you guys because you're boisterous this morning. Eh? You're boisterous.
Meg and Amy are extremely special lionesses. They do not unsheathe their claws, and they don't try to bite. Rare traits that Kevin has found in only one lioness in 40. This makes them perfect candidates for commercials and film shoots. The games they play with Kevin are the same as always. However, the difference now is that they weigh over 85 kilograms and still insist on their usual piggyback.
One at a time. Okay, come here, Mickey. Come here for your piggyback.
To them, it's their normal show of affection. Hugs and kisses and licks with a tongue so rough it could sand down a wooden door.
I can't get you up. I can't get you up.
I've dealt with a lot of lions, a lot of lionesses in my years, and I haven't come across two females more gentle and loving than Meg and Amy.
Meg and Amy are rare in their constant adoration for Kevin, but not all animals are as consistent. Since Gina has had her cubs, her attitude toward Kevin has changed dramatically.
And there's more.
Hey, boy, Gina. Gina. Hey, sweetie. Hey, girl.
So far, so good.
Gina's warning growls indicate that Kevin should not approach any closer.
You just don't know how these guys are going to behave. And especially a mom around cubs.
Gina, the wonderful hyena that allowed Kevin to play with her in the past, is now so protective of her new litter that she won't allow him closer than 6 meters.
That over there is her saying don't come any closer. She's happy with us at about 6 meters, and I think that's as good as we're going to get today.
There is a reason for her hostility. Like lionesses, hyena mothers are renowned for their aggressive protectiveness of their cubs.
I think what we're going to have to do with Gina is let her come out and greet me. And if that happens, then we can kind of go back together to the den. But at the moment, it's not going to happen. So we're going to leave old Gina in peace and come back tomorrow.
Come on, Kenny.
Every day at the park brings new wonders into Kevin's life.
I've just had some really exciting news this morning. One of my expectant spotted hyena mothers has given birth apparently to a little cub, and just come down here to see the clan, and I can see they're all very excited and a little bit up in arms. So let's see how they are. I'm going to try and go in and see how the new mother is, and yeah, just see how it goes.
Bonnie is part of a small clan, a different one to Gina's. They come up to greet Kevin as if they have exciting news to tell him.
You can see everyone's very... Ooh, tails up. What's going on?
Bonnie gave birth in the safety of a concrete pipe. Kevin approaches cautiously, thinking that she might react like Gina, but instead, she allows him to get in close.
You got a cute little cub there. Hey? That's wonderful.
This shows that there are no rules in animal behavior, and no two animals of the same species will react the same way whether they are hand-reared, habituated, or wild. On the contrary, Bonnie is totally relaxed with Kevin, and she doesn't even bother to hide her cub. Kevin leaves Bonnie and her newborn and goes to check on Pelochale, although he's a little apprehensive this time.
Hey, Pelok.
And when he gets closer, she tenses up.
Where are your cubs? I see 1, I see 2, I see 3.
Where's the 4th? Where's your 4th? Okay, let me go and check.
It's 10 days after the birth of her cubs. Kevin sees only 3 cubs, and Pelochale seems very agitated as he enters the den. He immediately finds out why. Tragedy has struck in the nursery. Pelochale, the perfect mother, has maimed and killed the runt of the litter. a wild instinct has prevailed. In lion society, there is no place for the weak.
I gotta say, there's many advantages to my job, but I think this is one of the things I don't really like about my job. I suppose you've got to take the good with the bad.
Pelokgale watches as Kevin walks away with the tiny body, her cub.
It's been the whole weekend. I haven't been in with Ma and her cubs. I'm just going to go and see. I hear some screaming. And I heard that on the weekend the one wasn't drinking very well. So we're going to go and see what's going on. Hello, Ma. Oh. We've got two very skinny cubs over here. This little girl has got a big laceration on her neck, which I'm going to have to go and see to.
In the wild, this would mean the death sentence for the cubs. But as these are captive animals, Kevin needs to decide whether he should intervene and remove them from Pelokgale's care. He consults with other experts and the decision is made to save the cubs from certain death. But this means removing them from their mother. Clearly, Pelokgale is not happy. In her eyes, the man she trusted so much commits an unforgivable crime.
This is not something I wanted to do, but it's something we've had to do. We've left it to her, and unfortunately if we leave this bunch of cubs, we're not going to have some cubs in a couple of days' time.
With the experience he gained by raising Meg and Amy, he now knows exactly what to do with these cubs.
Back at the nursery.
He puts them on the bottle immediately.
Normally getting cubs of this age up to the nursery, it would take a couple of days before they started feeding. But these guys started feeding immediately, and this is proof that Pelokgale's milk had dried up.
Pelokgale takes the abduction of her cubs very badly. The man she trusted has betrayed her, and she lets him know. The trust that Kevin had nurtured and developed between man and lion has been broken. Perhaps forever. Kevin must go on. He has 3 babies on the brink of death to nurse back to health, using all the experience he gained from raising Meg and Amy.
You're a nice little boy, hey? Come on, boy. And then what Mom would do, which I certainly am not going to do, is she would eat the feces. Here we go. Here we go. Come, boy. Oh. Good stuff, little boy. Good stuff. He's definitely going to be a future film star.
These cubs mark a new chapter in Kevin's adventures. They become part of his favorite companions. Gambit, as usual, is close by.
Gambit wants to say something to you. Gambit, come here. Telephone for you. Yeah.
Gina is back to her loving self, but she keeps her cubs hidden from Kevin.
Some of the most powerful jaws in the animal kingdom. 700 pounds per square inch.
Trilly, her boyfriend, is extremely happy to see Kevin. Hopefully this will mean a ride in the car. Then he's off to see the 2 loves of his life, Tao and Napoleon. They've become fathers once more. Their family has increased by 3. After his encounter with Pelokgale's wrath, Kevin is relieved that he can leave these 3 cubs under the perfect care of his pride. Perhaps his easy acceptance by the cub's mother stems from his close relationship with their father. In this pride, he is considered as equal to Tao and Napoleon. He's allowed free range of their enclosure, including the inside of the den where the cubs go to sleep. Even their older brother takes a keen interest in the youngsters. And with this, Tao and Napoleon's legacy of good-natured lions lives on. By the time the two old males retire, Kevin will have brought up their youngsters to take over their filming careers. This intimate situation shows the epitome of Kevin's work, his extraordinary abilities to communicate and interact with these powerful predators. Pelohale has been reintroduced into her pride. Without cubs, she'll soon come into estrus. She cautiously goes up to Kevin. Perhaps she is beginning to forgive him. His last stop is Meg and Amy's cage.
Come, girlies.
He finds it empty.
Girls. Where are you guys? Helga?
Kevin and his assistant Helga rush off to find his favorite girls. He must get them back. They are unique females. He might never find lionesses like them again. During the crisis of saving Pelohale's cubs, Meg and Amy were accidentally chosen to be taken away for breeding purposes. Finally returned to their enclosure, Meg and Amy showed their gratitude. An unusual request comes in for a shot of a swimming lioness. But how does one get a feline scared of water to swim in a dam? Kevin knows that only Meg would be the perfect swimmer, proving once more that through the unique relationship that he has with these animals, he can get them to do almost anything. This must surely be the ultimate show of trust between human and feline. Meg, a typical lion who does not like water, voluntarily goes into the dam and swims just to reach Kevin, who's holding a tasty bribe, of course. Kevin, a man who would not swim in a pool with his dog because his back would be clawed painfully, allows a 150-kilogram lioness to jump on his back and use him as a raft. Meg is having so much fun in the dam that she doesn't even notice the bystanders. Game over, and the two sit quietly together, enjoying the moment as if this is just part of life's little joys, happy to be in each other's company. Kevin's relationship with these exceptional lions and hyenas proves that a man with very special insight can gain the trust, affection, and even the admiration of some of the most dangerous predators of Africa. Kevin was born with a special talent, an intuition that allows him to enter into the extraordinary world of animals, making these exceptional characters Kevin's companions.
My journey with these majestic animals, both the lions and the hyena, has led me down some absolutely amazing pathways. And if this is what it's been like up until now, I can only imagine or try and imagine what the future holds.